Hi everyone. We're going to talk a little bit now about roller bottles and how to make them and why they're so great to use as a little tool and a handy on the go way to use your oils. If any of you haven't seen roller bottles before, this is what they look like. And basically, you can get them in different colors. I've got amber ones. I've got blue ones too that are really beautiful. The clear ones are fine. It depends if it's something that you're going to have for a long time, then it's good to put it in a dark colored glass because it preserves the quality of the oil over time. You want to store your oils away from the sun because sun will affect the quality over time. But a lot of the ones that I make these days, I go through them pretty quickly. And so, if you're not too worried about that and you're keeping them in a dark space, clear is just as good. I actually love the color. I love the amber ones. They feel a bit vintage to me, so I often use those ones. But what I use them for now, you can start to experiment a little bit with what you need in your own life. But I found the very first thing that I did when I got my kit is I decided to make these ones. I made my own peppermint, lemon, and lavender because I figured those are the ones I knew and understood the most, and I thought I'd reach for them the most. To be honest, I don't reach for the lemon roller bottle that often, but I use these two all the time. And here's what I do with them. With lavender, I've diluted it with a ratio that I'm comfortable using on violet. So you want to, I will post a dilution chart after this, but you want to be careful with the ratios you dilute, depending on who you're using it for. And depending on the oil, lavender is a gentler one. Some of the oils like oregano are quite strong, powerful, so you want to maybe dilute those ones a little bit more. So just give some thought to that. Do a little bit of reading on it. But something like lavender, I diluted this knowing that I wanted to use it on violet as well. But I wanted it to be strong enough for me to use too. So I can't remember how many drops I actually put in this, but I can look it up and post it below. But basically with this, I roll this on the bottoms of her feet at night, and it really helps to calm her and just settle her, getting her ready for bed. It's become a little ritual that we've created. And I think that she now mentally associates that with this is a calm down time. But the lavender works beautifully for calming, and I use it on me. So this is where I've been using this one before I go in to read her bedtime stories and to settle her. Often bedtime can be that kind of stressful time where it's like, oh, I just want, her to go to sleep. I need some me time. So it calms me, and I just put it on my pulse points like that. Some people like to put it there. I just find that really great. And it smells great, and then you can just use it aromatically then. So it's getting into your bloodstream and it's doing its work internally, but you can also just take a whiff like that, and it helps to calm me immensely. So when I go in to Violet's room, I'm getting the benefit of that, and as I snuggle with her, she's getting the benefit of that too, and on the bottoms of her feet. So creating these little guys early on really helped me to start using my oils in an intuitive way, because I could just grab for them super easy. I didn't have to stop and think about ratios and how many drops and what do I do. Having your roller bottles set up ahead of time really sets you up in a great way to start actually using them. And I keep these in my purse. So these ones and certain specific ones, I have an On Guard one that I made as well for Violet. I actually carry them with me because if we're out and about, here in Australia, there's these crazy biting ants and crazy things that like to bite you. And I swell up, Violet swells up. Lavender is a beautiful one for taking out the sting of a bite, and it works immediately. So there have been times when I've been out with Violet and she's gotten stung, and just, immediate like, oh my God, Mom. And I put this on and I'm able to soothe her straight away on the spot. And the same for me too. I get comfort from it too. Cuts, burns, things, lavender's beautiful for. So I really recommend you considering creating a roller bottle for that. And then the peppermint one. Today is a perfect example of this one for me. I didn't use this for such a long time, and it was that whole knee-jerk reaction of reaching for the things that you're familiar with first. But it's breaking those habits that is so important. So today, I had a bad night's sleep last night. I was feeling low energy and tired, and I was getting a bit of a tension headache feeling coming on. I have been using peppermint with huge amounts of success over the last, say, 3 or 4 months for these kinds of tension headaches. Basically what I do is, because it's all diluted and ready to go, I just take it and I put some on the back of my neck like that, and I put some here. Now you want to make sure you're using diluted peppermint because it's really strong. I once made the mistake of taking a little bit and just putting some neat peppermint on my temples, and it really burned my eyes, like the fumes are getting into my eyes. But when I use it diluted, I never have that issue. There's also a lot of research that shows the benefits of dilution in terms of how it's absorbed into the body. It actually is absorbed much more readily. So I will post a bit more on that too. But there are huge benefits to actually having it diluted and how your body receives the oils. So I'm a big believer in dilution. So having this on hand with me has been great, because it means in those moments when you're feeling tension or a headache coming on, or you're just feeling low energy, peppermint is a great pick-me-up in the middle of the day. So I will put this on my pulse points and just take a breath, and it really helps to sort of invigorate me and keep me going. Great to do before a workout. Put some of this on before you're going to do your workout. So having these ready and on the go is awesome, you guys. And that's just like, you can create so many different ones. So I have one for on guard. And the reason being that on guard is a great immune support. It's actually really built to support your immune system in doing what it's designed to do, which is to fight off any germs, any negative pathogens that might be floating around. Whoops, slippery. And so by creating a roller bottle like that, I actually put that on the bottoms of Violet's feet before she goes off to daycare, because this is where that whole revolving door of sickness seems to take place. She goes to daycare, and then the next day she comes home and she's got some latest bug, and it takes us the whole week to recover and then back to daycare. Well, I've started using the On Guard in a roller bottle on her feet before she heads out as a line of defense for her little body. And we have seen a huge improvement and shift just since I've been doing that. I also use it for myself when I'm feeling a little run down or anything coming on. I would put this on my own wrists as well. So with Violet, I always apply on the bottom of her feet. It's a great place for it to enter her body, but it's not going to be a sensitive area where she might have any reaction. And it's just a beautiful place for it to get into her bloodstream and her body. So these are some great ways you can start experimenting with your roller bottles, creating little blends and things that will support you. I created this one, was a DigestZen one that I carry with me, so that if I'm out and I'm feeling upset tummy or anything comes on, especially if you go out to eat somewhere, it's a bit rich. I've used this with really beautiful success, just rolling that directly onto my belly, but was so grateful to have this with me when I traveled. So lots of ideas here for creating ones for, overall health benefit. But another beautiful avenue of using roller bottles is making your own perfume. Now, this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to show you, actually, because I've got one that I'd like to make for myself. And so I'll show you how to make one. But with perfumes, I've done a whole course on perfumes, and I will speak further about this in our group. Perfumes have so many toxic components in them. It's probably like standard over-the-counter, your big brand name perfumes that everybody loves, the ones that their signature scent that they wear, they are some of the worst things you can put on your body. So I really urge you to educate yourself a bit about this, because just shifting this one thing could make a huge impact in your overall health. The perfume industry is actually not required to disclose all their ingredients. So you're putting something on yourself that you actually don't even know what's in it. And because they're not required because of privacy laws, and they don't want to share their secret ingredient, it's not regulated. So you have no way of knowing what they're putting in here. And personally, with the things I've learned over my journey this past year, I'm sad to say I just don't trust them. So I've got a ton of information I can provide you on this topic, because it's something I've really looked into. But just to say, since I've discovered this, I've been making my own perfumes and they smell gorgeous. Every time I wear my own perfume, people always around me comment, where did you get that? And I have to say, oh, I made it. If you want one, you can make one too. So today I'm going to use my little amber bottle because I think it's pretty. And I've heard of a blend. There's so many different oils that are really beautiful to use for perfume. And you'll actually find that they are the ingredients in the commercial perfumes. They've got these oils in them, but they've got all the other God knows what in it too. So I'm just cutting out that part of it. I'm going to use ylang ylang. Ylang ylang is such a beautiful, I use this actually on its own. And this is one that I do sometimes apply neat, meaning without any carrier oil. I'll sometimes just dab that onto my wrists because I love the smell, even just on its own. There's something about it. So I'm going to add some drops in there. With that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 drops of ylang ylang. I'll discuss a little bit more in the comments below of the benefits, some of the physical benefits of each of these oils, so you can understand a bit more why I've chosen. The next one I'm going to do is geranium. This is a new favorite of mine. The first time I smelled geranium, I actually didn't really like it. It was too florally, I don't know, too flowery for me. But something in me now is really gravitating to it. And this is something you might find over time, is that something that initially repelled you, later on in a different stage of your life or different things happening, it could all of a sudden be really attractive to you. And there's a whole emotional science behind these oils and how they function in your body. So it's really interesting to sort of stop and observe, like, oh, I really don't like that one. I wonder why. And just, you know, maybe try it again later. And other ones too that I really loved at first, and then I kind of grew off and not so keen on anymore. So I'm going to put 5 drops of geranium because I do love it now. And it's a beautiful one. Some of these I'm picking because they are very supportive for hormonal balancing. And so I'm going to do a whole post for you guys actually on hormones and how the essential oils can help address some of the hormonal phases of your life. So 5 of that, and I'm actually going to put 5 of lavender in there too. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Okay, so that's my mixture. As I said, there's so many other ones. Like, I love vetiver. It's a beautiful smelling one that's in a lot of colognes and perfumes. I made Tate a version of this for him, for men, and I put the vetiver in it, and it smells beautiful. A lot of men's colognes will have that, and also the bergamot. Bergamot is a really lovely one for perfume. And you'll see a lot of patchouli. Now, patchouli is one I actually was really adverse to. I feel like it smells like something kind of moldy, stinky smell. But I always thought I hated patchouli, but when I smelled the doTERRA one, it's so incredibly different. And I realized that some of these things that I associated with a negative smell, I'm used to smelling the toxic version, the synthetic version, the one that's filled with gunk, you know. Patchouli to me makes me think of incense and hippies, and you know, the incense that I was smelling was full of other toxic stuff. So it wasn't actually true patchouli. So when I smelled the doTERRA one, I was really amazed. So that's how you put together your little roller bottle. Now you can see there's not a ton of essential oil actually in there when you look at like that, but it's all you need. And then you take your trusty coconut, and these come with these awesome dispensers, which is really handy. You can get proper tools to do this. A lot of the sites where I'll link you to that you can get your roller bottles from, they sell little pipettes and little tools that help you do this really easily without any mess. But I find it just as easy just to do this, and I just line it up and I just squeeze that in there. Careful not to overspill it. But I just put that in. Okay, that's it. And then you've got your oils. So then these little kits of roller bottles, I buy them, it comes in a little case of 6. They come with the glass. They come with these little tops. and I just force that on there until it clicks. You hear the click. Oops, make sure it's really on there. You might have to double click. That's your roller bottle. Okay, guys, so then it's in there. And now the thing with oils, especially making your own perfumes, you want them to settle. You want them to bind to each other. So often when you first make them, it won't give you the true aroma of it. It takes about a week for it to kind of settle in there when you're doing a perfume. Not the case, obviously, if you're just doing a simple bottle that has On Guard in it, or your peppermint. But when you're doing perfume, you just want it to get warm in your hand, and you also just want to keep it in a dark space and just let it settle. So this won't be the true beautiful version of it until after it's had a chance to settle. But then I'm just looking for my top. I had some tops here. You got your lid, and you're good to go. So then that's it, beautifully done, ready to carry in your purse or your bag or whatever. The only thing left that I would recommend you do is label it. I started off and I just didn't have labels on things, but doTERRA give you this. Often if you've purchased a kit, you will have had this sheet with all the stickers. If not, you can go into the shop and you can order these. They're $1 a sheet or something, and it's really worthwhile to have. So I will go through now and I'll pick out my geranium on there so that I know. And I've got my lavender in there, and I did ylang ylang. So that way I know what I put, and I will also write the drop amount, because sometimes once you've had, so I've got my little, there you go. Okay, so once you've had a while with it, you'll be like, oh, how many drops did I put? I want to redo it, or or it's not strong enough, I want to add a little bit more. So I'll just write on each one how many drops of each is in there so that I know. And that's it, roller bottle made. So it's a really handy thing to have, and just for multiple uses. It's a great way to start using your oils. Now you don't have to use the coconut oil. There's lots of different oils. Sweet almond oil is really nice, jojoba. I just really love the fractionated coconut oil. It's got no smell of its own. It's always that beautiful liquid in it, and it just feels really nice on the skin. It doesn't leave that greasy residue feeling that some oils do. It just sinks in beautifully. So I really love it on my skin. So that's the one I gravitate to. But yeah, that's it. I hope that's helpful, you guys. Let me know if you have any blends that you're curious about, or if you want to know any of the ones I use in my own personal little mini medical kit, because I travel with these oils, and this is a beautiful way to travel with them, is by making your roller bottles to have on the go. But I highly recommend that you at least start with making a peppermint one and a lavender one, because those are two you will reach for continuously. So that's it. I hope you guys had fun with that, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye.